Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dishu and you're watching Data Science with Dishu. So it's been a long time since I have uploaded the last video. So actually मैं family के साथ vacations पे था. Now I'm back, so we are going to resume our lectures. And yes, there is some background changes. I hope you like that. So just a quick recap what we have covered until now. So we have started with data structure in Python. Then we have started with Python loops and conditional, and at last we have ended up with the Python functions. Now in this session we are going to start a new concept that is called OOPS, and the full form of OOPS is Object Oriented Programming System. So it is just a way of structuring the codes, whatever we have seen Python codes, whatever the concepts we have learned. Whenever we are writing any functions or any logic that we are writing in Python, we need to write all of these things in a structured manner, and this OOPS concept helps to structure the code. So we are going to learn the OOPS concept in this session, and believe me, जितना इस concept को लोग difficult समझते हैं वो उतना है नहीं. It's just a concept of structuring the code. So we'll be looking at a lot of examples of how we can structure the code using OOPS concept. So this concept will be crystal clear to you. So just be with me throughout this video, and at the end of this video you will definitely get it. So before starting this video, hit the like button and share this video to your friends who actually wants to learn data science and make transition into the data science career. Cool guys, so we are going to start the concept OOPS, and that is object oriented programming. So we are not going to look at the theoretical part of that. So I will be covering theoretical part, but along with that I am going with the notebook, Colab notebook, और मैं उसी में डायरेक्टली आपको प्रैक्टिकल करके भी दिखाऊंगा. लाइक वाई आई एम नॉट गोइंग विद द मोर थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट, क्योंकि इसमें इतने टर्म्स ही यूज होते हैं ना ओप्स कंसेप्ट में, लाइक इट विल बी कन्फ्यूजिंग. सो आप थ्योरी पढ़ के कुछ समझ नहीं पाओगे. सो विल बी डायरेक्टली लुकिंग एट द प्रैक्टिकल थिंग्स एंड देन वी विल रिलेटिंग द थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट, और वो ज़्यादा क्लियर हो जाएगा. So as I said that object oriented programming is what? It is a method of structuring a program by bundling related properties and behavior into individual objects. So you can see there are many terms that are coming here, like related properties is coming here, behaviors coming, and objects is coming. So what are those things like properties, behavior, objects? All of these things will be cleared. So first of all we are going to look at the terms that are used in OOPS. So what are the terms that are regularly used in OOPS concept? So first term is the class, second the object, third attribute, and four is the method. So method you already know, you have seen what are functions and methods. So method is what, as I have already told you, method is a special type of function which is defined inside a class. So what is a class? First of all you need to know that. So class क्या है? Class is a blueprint for creating different objects. Now there is another term that is coming here, blueprint. अब blueprint क्या होता है? So many of you already know that, but just to make it clear I will be giving some examples of what is blueprint. So blueprint is just like a general design, you can say. So if you know, when there is a civil work is going, there is a construction of any buildings, there is a design of that building, and that is called a blueprint of that building. So using that design, what you can do, you can make many buildings na of the same design. So that is what, that is a blueprint actually. Using that blueprint or a design, you can make many buildings. Similarly, if you have noticed, when you go to the bank, not now, like nowadays you do all the things online, but when we used to go to the banks, what happens, there is a form that is given to you. So what you do in that form, you provide your credentials like your account number, account holder name, what are the amounts that you want to deposit. Let's say you want to deposit the money, so you get the deposit form. So what is that thing, deposit form? It is a blueprint na. So using that form, many of the customers will be coming and they will be putting their credentials, and that form then belongs to them. They can use that to deposit the money or withdraw the money. So that is what, that is a blueprint now. Using the same form, many of the customers are filling that form and they are using that for their own purposes. So just think in a way that using that blueprint you can create many different objects. So that is called a class. So class is a blueprint for creating the different objects. Now what is objects here? Like you have seen in terms of like whatever in the layman terms, whatever I have given the examples, like in the bank form, what you are doing, what are the objects? Objects is the individual form. And in the construction, what are the objects? Objects are buildings. But in Python, what is objects? That you are creating using blueprint or using class. So object is a simply collections of data and methods. Now data nothing but just representing the variables. So whatever the variables that you are using, all of those things that are actually an object. So for example, if you see x equals to 5, you have used that many times, but you don't know that it is actually creating an object. So object of which class? Class integer. So integer is a class. Integer is a class, that means it is a blueprint for creating different objects. So you can create different object. So you can create different objects like x equals to 5, y equals to 10. So x, y, z, whatever you are defining, what are those things? Those are objects that you are creating inside the integer class. And integer class means that this is a blueprint for creating different objects. Similarly, there can be many methods also. So I'll be actually showing you that what is method that you are defining inside a class. So they say method I have already told you many times, like it is just a function that are defined under a class. So when you define a function inside a class, it becomes method. So you can also define different functions inside a class and that becomes method. So the combinations of those variables and methods are called objects. Now I know कि यहाँ पे पूरा कंसेप्ट क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है, लाइक आप 50-50 अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हो व्हाट इज क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स, बट when I'll be giving an examples of OOPS concept, what are class, how you define class, what are objects, all the things will be clear. But for now, just understand whatever I am telling, just keep in mind what is that thing. And after looking at the practical things, return to these definitions and you will definitely get that. Next thing is what? Next thing is attribute. So attribute means what? Characteristics of an object. So whatever the object you have defined, there must be some characteristic of that object. Like what is characteristic? Like for human, if there is a human being, what are the characteristic of human being? He has like eyes, he has ears, he can walk, he can eat, all of these what? These are characteristic of a human. Similarly, if you are defining any object inside a class, there must be some characteristic of that object. So that is called actually attribute. Now we'll be also looking at that thing, what is attribute, how you define attribute of an object. The next thing is method, that you already know, operation we can perform with object. So whatever the functions that you define inside a class, that becomes method, and using that method, whatever the operation you want, you can perform with the object. So whatever the object you have defined, inside that object only you can perform that operations, or you can call the method. So let's quickly start looking at the examples so that it will be more clear. So first of all, we are going to look at the syntax of defining a class, how you can define a class. So whatever the blueprint that you are looking at, how you can define that. So before looking at the syntax of a class, like how you can define the class, you need to understand that what are the rules of naming a class, like whatever the class name that you are giving. Similarly, like you have given the name of the functions. Now whatever the functions you are defining, you have to give the function name. Similarly, whenever you are defining a class, you need to give a class name. Now for defining a class name, by convention we give classes a name that start with a capital letter. Okay, so it's not the thing that if you give a small case it will be not defined, but by convention we give it a capital letter so that there will be no any confusions, so that you can directly understood that whatever class you are defining, that is starting with a capital letter, so it is a class, it will be confirmed. So just to not have any confusions, we start with a capital letter of a class name, and that is by convention. Okay, now note how object one is now, so it will be more clear when I'll be giving an example. So it is referencing whatever the examples I have given here, that is referencing the same thing. So again, what is attribute? You have seen how you can define attribute. This is the syntax of defining attribute, and there is a special method for defining all the attributes. So we are not going to look at here, we are directly going to look at the how we can create a class or called a blueprint, and then we'll be looking at individually what is attribute and what is that a special method that is called init method. So this is the syntax of creating a class. So first of all, as you have given, like when you are defining a function, what you give the syntax, def, then the function name. But in defining a class, you don't need to give a def, you just give a keyword class, then the class name. So you can see I am defining a class called car. So you can see I am starting with a capital C. So it is by convention you should start with a capital C, so that when you will be defining objects inside that class, you can define that in small cases, so that there will be no any confusion. So you will be actually looking at all of these things, and then it will be more clear. Now after giving the keyword class and the class name, you have to give a colon and then change the line, give the indentation. You have to define a special method that is called init method. Now what is that a special method? Why we are using that? First of all, look at the syntax of that special function, and then I'll be telling you why we are using that. So first of all, syntax is similar to just whatever the syntax you have seen to defining any function. No? So this is a function actually. It is just a special type of function, okay? Or actually you can say a special method, because this is coming under a class now. After defining a class, you are defining a function. So as I've already told you that when you are defining any function inside a class, that becomes method. So it is a special type of method. Now you can see, first of all, the syntax is def, then the method name. So it is by default the method name is init, and before init you have to give 2 underscore, and after init also you have to give 2 underscore. Then what are the argument that you are passing? There are like 4 arguments you are passing here. So first argument is what? That is self. So that is actually a compulsory argument that you have to pass inside a init method. Why that is important? So be patient, I'll make it clear. So after just giving the argument self, what you are passing? You are passing different arguments like company name, mileage. Now what are those things? Company name, mileage. These are actually attributes. So whatever the class you have defined, car class, it should have some properties, na? It should have some characteristic, and that is called actually what? That is called attributes. So characteristic of an object. So first of all, we are defining a class, then we have to initialize the attributes, and then we will be creating some objects of that class, and these attributes will belong to the all of those objects. Now why we are using that init method? It is a special method to initialize the attributes of an object. So whatever the attributes that we want to give to an object, now अभी तक हमने एक object create नहीं किया, we are just initializing the attributes. So how you can initialize the attributes? So जितने भी आपको attributes initialize करने हैं, whatever the numbers of attributes that you want to define, you have to pass that as an argument. So like here I want to initialize the attributes company, then name and mileage, because this is a car class. So it should have some company name, it should have some model name, then it should have some mileage. So these are the attributes that I am defining to this class car. Now how we can initialize that attributes? You have to just call self dot company equals to company, then again self dot name equals to name, self dot mileage equals to mileage. Now why we are doing that thing, self dot company equals to company, then self dot. So in the next cell, when we are creating the objects, it will become more clear why we are doing that thing. और वहाँ पे मैं ये भी clear करूँगा why we are using that self argument. So this was actually a syntax of creating blueprint, or you can say creating a class. Now after that, how you can create the objects? So creating object, or you can say creating instance of a class. So there are two names actually, either you call objects or instances of class. So here we are creating two objects, or you can say two instances of class. So first object is called just any name I have given, so you can give any name. I am giving object 1 so that it will be more clear, like we are creating objects, and there is a object 2. Now when you are creating any objects, so whatever the variable name you have to give, you just give that, then equals to, and then the class name, whatever the class or a blueprint you have defined, because that is the blueprint actually you have. Using that blueprint only you have to create many objects. So first of all, you need to call that class. So I have called that car class. Now what are the argument you need to provide? You need to provide the arguments of the attribute the value of actually attribute. So whatever the attributes you have defined, like company, then name, then mileage. So if you are creating any objects, that should have the values of those attributes ना. अगर आप उसको वैल्यू ही नहीं दोगे तो how it will be called as an object. So just like any design that you have and you are constructing a building, it should have some properties ना, like इतने rooms है, how many rooms are there, how many halls, kitchen, bathroom, all are there. It should be present there ना. Then you will call that ना, that it is a building that has been made using that class, or you can say that blueprint. Similarly, if you are creating any objects, so whatever the attributes or properties of that class we have, it should have some value to that. So for example, we have company, name, then mileage. So how you can pass the values? You have to just pass that as an argument. So you can see what I am passing: Tata, then Nexon, then 20 kmpl. So there are actually two ways of passing the attribute values to the class. You can see first method is what? You can directly pass the values corresponding to all of these attributes. But when you are passing the direct values, you need to take care of the order of the attributes that you have defined while initializing the attribute. So order was what? First company, then name, then mileage. So you need to provide the values in the same order. So for company, it will be Tata, name will be, model name will be Nexon, and then mileage will be 20 kmpl. Now similarly, you can define object 2 also, and this is another method that I have shown you. So there is another way of passing the values to that attribute. So you can see, instead of directly passing the values, I am calling the first attribute name, then equals to value of that attribute. So in this way, what you can do, you can just change the order now. You can change the order. You can pass first name equals to Swift, then company equals to Maruti Suzuki, or you can say you can pass mileage first, then name or company, any order you want, but it should have the attribute name and the attribute value together. So you can see हमने दो objects यहाँ पे define किए हैं, that is object 1 and that is object 2, and दोनों हमने अलग अलग method से देखा how we can define the object and pass the values to the class. So till now what you have seen how you can create the blueprint or a class, and then how you can create the objects. Now I'll be telling you why we are using that self argument. So you can see when you are creating the object like object 1, you are passing the values now. Where are those values going? How it is getting assigned to the class car? So that is getting assigned just because of that self argument. So when you are passing Tata as a value to that class car when creating the object 1, what is happening, that this value is getting stored in attribute company, and then self dot company equals to company. So what is happening here, when you are defining the object 1 and you are passing the values of those attributes, first of all what you are doing, you are calling the class name now. So first of all it will call the class, and using that self it is just storing all of these values, like Tata as a company is being stored, self dot company equals to company, then Nexon, that means self dot name equals to name, that means whatever the name it is getting initialized and it is getting stored inside the class car. So what is happening when you are passing all of these values, and when you have created the object 1, what you can do in future, you can just call object 1 dot company. So what it will return, it will return the company name. You can see when you are calling the object 1 dot company, it is returning Tata. Why it is returning Tata? Because you have passed the value Tata as the attribute value to the attribute company. So when you are passing that Tata, it is getting stored here Tata, and then self dot company equals to company, ensure that inside that car class whatever the company you have passed, company name, it is getting stored, and that object 1 has been created. So you can just call object 1 whatever you want, like company name or the model name. If you just do object 1 dot name, it will just return Nexon, and if you do like object 2 dot mileage, so for object 2 mileage is what, 20 kmpl, so it will return 20 kmpl. So it is the self argument that is helping to store all of these value inside that class. And when you are calling all of these things like object 1 dot company dot name, what are those things? Those are attributes. So till now you have seen the functions and methods now only. Still you have not seen actually in detail what is method, but you have heard about function and method. Function you have seen clearly, but there is third thing that is called attribute. So for any object, whatever the attributes you have defined, you can just call that attribute. Similarly, the way you call the method, you can call a attribute. The difference is what? Only the difference will be that you don't need to give a round bracket here. Like when you are calling the method, you have to give a round bracket after that method name. But if there is no any round bracket, so आप समझ जाना that it is the just an attribute to that object. Now whatever the attributes that you have defined to any object, that belongs to that object only. So for object 1 or object 2, you have defined the attributes company name and mileage. Now for any other object, like any other object means what? Anything that you see in Python, na, all of these things are based on OOPS concept. That means all of these things are objects. So whenever you are calling a list 1 equals to these values, you have defined any list. List is what? It is also an object. A string is what? A string is also an object. So let's say I have defined a list, that is list 1, and I have given some values, random values 10, 4, 6, and this is list 1, and let's say I'm again defining a string, that is ABC. Now you know that if you apply dot sort on a string, what it will do? If I just run that dot sort on a string, what it is returning? It is returning an error, and that is called attribute error. That means a string object has no attribute sort. Are you getting it? Why it is returning? Because dot sort method is not actually defined under that object string 1. So string 1 is an object, okay, and that is a string object, and inside that string object it is never defined any sort attribute or any sort method. So that is why it is returning the error. So the same thing I was telling कि आपने जब भी कंपनी नेम एंड माइलेज जो भी ये प्रॉपर्टीज एंड एट्रीब्यूट से आपने डिफाइन किया है, दैट इज यू आर डिफाइनिंग अंडर ऑब्जेक्ट 1 और यू कैन से ऑब्जेक्ट 2, बिकॉज दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट सेम क्लास के हैं, कार क्लास के. सो दिस बिलोंग्स टू दैट ऑब्जेक्ट ओनली. इफ यू आर कॉलिंग द सेम एट्रीब्यूट और सेम फंक्शन इनसाइड अनदर ऑब्जेक्ट, that will give an error. The similar way it is giving error here. So you can see if I just do list1 dot sort, it will not give an error. It will just sort the list. If I just print that list1 again, you can see it is getting sorted 4 6 10. Initially it was 10 4 6, now it is 4 6 10. So it has applied that sort method on list1. Why it has applied? Because in Python at the backend, list1 object has the attribute, or you can say actually method dot sort. Since Python is open source, when someone has defined that list as an object, and that comes in under actually a data type, so there is a dot sort method that is defined inside that class. So that is why you are able to use that dot sort method for list only. If you do that for a string, it is giving an error because dot sort method was not defined under the class string. सो जिस क्लास के अंदर जो मेथड आपने डिफाइन किया है, यू कैन यूज़ दैट मेथड इनसाइड दैट क्लास ओनली, और यू कैन से ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दैट क्लास ओनली. सिमिलरली यू कैन सी if I am defining x equals to 5 and if I do x dot count 5, what it will do? It will return int object has no attribute count. So integer object has no any like method or any attribute dot count. So that is why it is giving an error. If you do the same thing with the list, it will not give an error. If I just do list 1 and dot count, let's say I'm counting 4. So in list 1 there is a 4 now, so 1 times that occurrence is 1 times, so you can see it is returning 1. So it is not giving an error. Why? Because dot count method is actually defined under the class list, so that is why it is not giving an error. So that was an overall simple concept of OOPS. So that is actually what? That is a structured way of programming, no? So whatever you are defining, that is you are defining as an object inside a class. So first of all you are defining a class, then you are initializing the attributes, and this is called actually a blueprint, and then you are creating some objects out of that blueprint. So using that blueprint, you are calling that blueprint or class, and then you are giving some values, and that is creating an object like object 1, object 2. So you can create as many objects as you want. Now you will be not getting the point why we are doing that thing, why we are creating a class, why then objects, what are the use case of that. So for now, like I'm not going to explain it here, it will be more confusing. Like in future when you will be getting used to all of those things now, when you will be writing a code of like 100 lines, 200 lines, then you will get the importance of structuring the code using that oops concept. Then you will understand what is the actual use case of that. Here I'm just giving an example and making it clear that what is actually oops concept using the simple examples. So till now you have just seen how we can create the class, and then how we can define objects inside that class. So that is it from this video. I'm going to end it here, and that is actually a part 1 of oops concept. So I'm going to complete the oops concept in the next part, that will be part 2, and I'll be starting with the methods, that means the functions inside a class. So how you can define a function inside a class, and you can do using that functions you can do many operations with the attributes of the objects. So we'll be looking at these things in the next session, and along with that I'll be also explaining the another concept that is called error and exception handling. So you will be looking at that thing also. So I hope that you have understood something about the oops concept, and continue to the next session so that it will be more clear to you what is actually oops and how you can define different functions, or you can say methods inside the oops, and you can use that thing. And you will be also looking at some of the properties of oops. So we'll be meeting in the next session. Till then, take care. Goodbye.